Welcome back to the PC building tutorial part 3. In today's lesson, we will take a look at installing the random access memory or RAM. This is probably one of the easiest parts of the build. So let's get into it. So every computer needs at least one stick of RAM to function. It gives applications a place to store and access information on a short-term basis. It's essentially short-term memory that is wiped after the PC shuts down, unlike long-term memory components such as storage SSDs or hard drives. It's random access, which means that data can be accessed in any order, and it lets you open apps and files easily because the computer can find the data in its short-term memory. But the more things running on your computer, the more memory you will need. So generally speaking, the more RAM that you have, the better and faster your PC will run. RAM is measured in gigabytes. 8 gigabytes is sort of the low-end average amount, but today I'll be using 16 gigabytes of Corsair RAM to allow for heavy multitasking and mid-ranged gaming. You also want to consider the speed or frequency of the memory, which is measured in megahertz. The RAM I have here is 1600 megahertz, which is a decent amount, but you can find much faster RAM nowadays. Finally, you want to make sure that the type of RAM you're getting supports your motherboard. I will be using DDR3 RAM, so my motherboard has to be able to accept that. Nowadays you'll find DDR4 or even DDR5 RAM, which is faster, but because of my motherboard limitation, I'll only be using DDR3. Okay, so take a look at your motherboard. Most motherboards will have 4 DIMM slots to plug in your RAM side by side here. The first thing you want to do is pull the locking tabs back in each slot that you'll be installing memory. In my case, I'll have to do it for all 4. Now you want to look at your RAM. Every memory stick has a gap somewhere near the middle, but it can only go in one way. So make sure to align that gap with the notch on the motherboard, and then gently but firmly push the memory sticks in until you hear a click on both sides. You'll know you installed it correctly if the tabs have clicked back into place and the memory is now installed. Go ahead and do that with the remaining RAM sticks until you have installed all of them. Again, make sure you hear those clicks when you push down. And congratulations, you've just installed your RAM. That's pretty much it for prepping the motherboard before you need to install it into your case. But we'll get into that later. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.